Wembayama is wide open. Easy bucket. Wait, why won't they pass it to him? Something is brewing in the NBA, and it's scary. Victor Wembanyama figured it out, but these Spurs haven't, leading to one of their worst records of all time, their worst losing streak of all time, and their opponents are starting to notice that something is off.
Sometimes you feel for him. He has some open looks. Sometimes they don't get it to him.
Yeah, Trae Young even knows that the Spurs are missing Wembanyama for easy looks. In fact, all these reports are coming out about the apparent Spurs dysfunction, jealousy, all surrounding possibly the most hyped up prospect we've ever seen. All eyes are on Victor. His popularity puts him only behind Curry and LeBron. In his first year, damn, just 25 games in, Wembanyama went from 22% from 3 to 36% in his last 22. He just had a triple-double with blocks, but even as he's getting better, his usage hasn't really gone up. In the 11 Spurs wins, Wemby's usage is 34.1, in losses, only 30.1. You might say he's more efficient in wins, and that's partly right. He's taken a leap mid-season like some players would in their second or third season. So why are the Spurs losing? Just to understand how crazy this all is, in the 27 years Gregg Poppovich has been coaching the Spurs, they've only had 4 losing seasons, which were their past 4 seasons, and their worst record was 22-66, which was worse than their second worst 34-48. Everyone accused the Spurs of tanking to get Wemby, and it worked. But now the Spurs are 11-44, on pace to win less than 20 games this season, and that's with Wemby, that's with Vassell, Keldon, Jeremy, all developing under the tutelage of Pop. But that's exactly what's their downfall, and leading to Victor's downfall. Normally, we hear absolutely nothing from the Spurs. No news, no drama, just some winning. Whenever we hear anything, it means something is wrong. And we're seeing something here that is robbing us of good basketball. Something that we're also seeing in other teams every day. Wemby is in trouble, but so are other players. And I'm going to go through the 3 key pieces why this is happening, including the dark secrets players and teams are hiding. But first, we need to understand the Wemby and Spurs situation to fully understand what's going on in the league as a whole. What is up, dudes? That's Ballers Players. It's your boy MJ. There is rumor and there is truth. Rumor, Spurs teammates are jealous of Wembanyama and his height. Truth, they have continuously missed Wemby wide open in ways that are indescribable. And that's piece number 1. The Spurs have drama that could be affecting the team. And we'll get into why this is hurting the league as a whole in piece 3, but perhaps nothing more crazy than this sequence.
It's the turn!
The Spurs are down 2 with a few minutes left, and Wembanyama is wide open several times. Like here, when Son has the ball and misses Wemby wide open for 3, and the Spurs get a bad layup.
Johnson forced it up, got it back, can't put it in. Sohan has it knocked away by Doncic.
Or how about ignoring Wemby on the handoff and then getting blocked from 3?
Long time here, Vassell.
Wemby did not touch the ball once in the last 2 minutes, and the Spurs couldn't score at all, leading to a Mavericks win. Maybe you can mark it up to players with bad playmaking, but if it happens over and over and over again, how is that not being addressed? But then you have this.
Yeah, y'all gonna stop coming in my live talking about this Victor dude, bro.
They been tripping on y'all.
Y'all gonna get off my page with that too.
That's Devin Vassell. Now, he could be saying this jokingly or not. This is an organization where even joking never happens. At least that's how it was throughout all those dynasty years with the many stars that have come and gone in San Antonio. Remember, Pop was eviscerating guys like Thiago Splitter and Danny Green, cursing him out on national television. Even Tony Parker, Duncan, Kawhi got screamed at, but not a peep of pushback came from those players. And neither did the media ever pick this up. This idea of jealousy of Wemby is kinda crazy, something that is completely anti-Spurs culture. When Kawhi started ascending, Tim Duncan was still making All-NBA teams. Parker was still an All-Star. If there was someone to be jealous of, it would have been Kawhi, but the rest of his teammates just want him to succeed and win. Keep in mind, this isn't the first time the Spurs had a top prospect in the middle of everything taking the shine. When Tim Duncan was drafted, the Admiral was in his prime. Pop was still the coach back then, and Duncan ascended into a superstar without any drama. Is it really that players are jealous, or is there something else going on? Which leads us into piece number 2. Even Gregg Poppovich, one of the greatest coaches of all time, can't fix this, which implies that other teams won't be able to fix this. Well, when Gregg Poppovich is out here coaching Wemby like he's a dollar store KD, it adds to the mystery. But speaking of mysteries, Jeremy Sochan has given us every reason to believe there is something going on. See, it all started when the Spurs, or Pop, put Sochan in at starting point guard back in November. Sochan never played point guard? He even says straight up, "It is the first time I have ever played point guard in my life." Pop is seeing something we aren't, because Sochan tried his hand at running this offense, and bro, what is this?
Huh?
It did nothing. Well, maybe just one thing. It put a magnifying glass over his relationship with Wemby on the floor. Just take this play for example. Sochan is initiating the offense, and it clearly looks like a play to get Wemby open. And even as Sochan looks like he's waiting to feed Wemby, he completely ignores him, open underneath for the easy bucket. And not just that, even with Wemby raising his hand wide open on the perimeter, he takes an ugly shot and completely screws up the entire possession. I mean, this one was blatant enough that even the opposing team's announcers took offense to it.
I don't know how you miss a 7-4 guy.
Yeah, how do you exactly
I just
not
don't
see him in your
understand
field
that.
of vision there?
And it's not like the Spurs were winning off this. No, they had an 18-game losing streak. If the Pistons didn't exist, we'd be talking about this Spurs team even more as a disappointment. After more time passed, Sochan kept getting criticized. He addressed the criticism head on by sending out a tweet, but he only caught more heat with folks ripping him for not passing Wemby the ball. But look, all of this is making us forget one thing that just isn't being talked about enough. The Spurs can't win without him. They have not won a single game when Wemby doesn't play. 0-6. Wembayama is 5th in the NBA in usage rate this season. Now that isn't just the highest among all rookies this season. No, that's actually the highest for any rookie in league history. So it's not a matter of not passing him the ball, rather there's extreme dysfunction. It almost seems like everyone is trying to do their own thing, whether it's players trying to get their own touches in the middle of this Wemby madness, or Wemby trying to figure things out himself and making a lot of mistakes. The Spurs seem more disconnected than ever. And keep in mind, Wemby does a whole lot in his 24-minute restriction that only a month ago got increased to 30. And it's not leading to wins. Wembayama is having amazing performances. A triple-double, a 5x5 game, first Spurs average 5x5 over a 2-game span. We are literally seeing history being made. But because of that, every other player has had to take a step back for a rookie. It's the same problem the 2019 Celtics had when Tatum, Brown, and Rozier led the Celtics to the conference finals without Kyrie, without Hayward. So when Kyrie and Hayward returned, you would think that this Celtics team would be unstoppable. Well, that shit was stoppable. They stopped themselves. As Jalen and Jason have both said, the younger players wanted more.
Everybody played a part in that. I know I did for sure. As bad as I wanted to win, we all knew Kyle was the best player, but I wanted to be number 2. And I take responsibility for, some of those things.
And so instead of team success, each player wanted to be the guy as much as possible, and they couldn't take reduced roles when Kyrie and Hayward came back. If you look at the usage of the Spurs players last season, Keldon Johnson at the age of 24 went from 27.8% then to this season now 22.4. Jeremy Sochan at 20 years old went from 19.8 to 18.6, less than his rookie year. And Devin Vassell has remained relatively the same. Wembanyama's arrival has stunted the opportunities of all the younger players the Spurs were developing. So regardless of speculation, that is a reality. Now how the players feel about it, That's the real speculation. And each player is different, but we've seen a similar story before. A few days before LeBron signed with the Cavs to make a super team, Kyrie signed a 5-year extension, but under very different assumptions. For one, he was told that he would be the main guy, that the Cavs were his team, that they would build around him. But literally 10 days after he signed, everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked. Yep, LeBron announced that he was coming back to the Cavs, and all what Kyrie was promised was all of a sudden taken away. Something that would gnaw at him until it would reach a boiling point where he would want his own team. These young Spurs players didn't know they would get Wemby, nor did they necessarily know that their role would completely drop. And that specific story is something we've seen for years, but it's even worse right now. And that's piece number 3. Players want attention, always have, but with social media, now more than ever, they need attention because it changes the trajectory of a career. The difference between getting minutes in your first few years of your career is almost entirely dependent on if there was enough media attention on you in high school or college. Hype now actually translates to more minutes and more opportunities. And look, if y'all want the truth, no fluff, no BS, no mainstream media agenda, subscribe for more. Because I'm doing all this research to make all these videos so I can present the facts to you so you can make your own decisions with no agenda. Think Ben Simmons after failing in the playoffs and deciding to sit out. Even though we had just saw that man was useless on the floor come playoff time and that he had shown an unwillingness to address those mistakes, his value was so high that he got traded for James Harden. Certain players get more room to fail if they have enough hype. Now, I'm not saying that Victor isn't living up to the hype, because he is, but this needs to be addressed, and this isn't the only time this happened. In 2003, there was another prospect hyped up beyond belief. On the cover of Sports Illustrated, the chosen one, LeBron James went number 1 to the Cavs, and here's what his teammates thought.
We have better players than him in his position already on our team, bro.
I don't think you can really just bring a high school player in and really just think your team gonna really turn around like that. If he comes, then he can just hop on our bandwagon and hopefully we can do something big.
That's the veterans really excited about LeBron joining their team. No one wants a reduced role, especially to a younger player. To most players, it has to be earned through all the practices and their play on the court. So when Devin Vassell is like, I don't want to hear about Wemby, he's probably heard about Wemby so much now that he's tired of it, and that affects chemistry. And teams are going through this all the time now. We just don't hear about it, but it's something that we find out after the fact. Do you want to know the sad truth? There's no way around it, except one extremely hard path. Fans need to be a bit more educated on players who are actually good rather than hype, and give the NBA a reason to focus on these players. Don't believe me? Look at what they did with Jokic, dog. Even while Jokic was winning MVPs, ESPN, Undisputed, all the big news networks refused to do any segments on him for years. A 30-minute show after Jokic just dropped a triple-double, we'll mention him for 15 seconds at the very end.
He does sound just like you.
Only after he won a championship were they forced to do more segments because he was now in front of everyone. But on the flip side, that's on us for not being more vocal. Don't get twisted, while the NBA and media outlets have immense power in influencing what we see and which players we think are great, we need to be better in being more vocal on what we want to see based on players who are exciting and play well. That comes from learning the game and player podcasts like JJ Redick, Paul George, Tyrese Halliburton when he shows up. Those are great in educating the everyday fan on all the actions that are being run. Us fans actually have a lot more power, especially after the NBA and Adam Silver keeps saying they're making changes because fans want more offense. What if we just made a stand? Then they would have to focus on Sengun, Jared Allen, Jalen Williams, and several other players that we never hear about. The all-day notification shout goes to JJ Lawsutter. Thanks for the all-day support. If you want to know why the All-Star game was so bad and why it'll continue getting worse, there's a video right here. And if you're still here, you're real ones to comment pass so I know. It's your boy MJ. Yeah.